Did you ever have one of those days where you just did not want to get out of bed? Everything was a chore, even the things that you love. Yeah, that's how I'm kind of feeling. I'm just exhausted. I'd say I need a vacation, even though I just came back from one. But another one would be super awesome. Please, thank you. I wouldn't even do anything on this vacation. I would just sleep and tend to my garden and podcast and work on blog posts. I have so many writing ideas and I just do not have time to do them. Maybe one day though. In the meantime, welcome back to Geeky Girls Night In. I'm your host Leslie and thank you for being here. Happy Pride Month and happy Juneteenth. I hope you're having a great one. I hope you're excited for today's show. Today we don't have a geeky guest per se. Today I'm focusing on someone local to me here in Indianapolis. Her name is Oya and she runs Chef Oya's The Trap, one of the best restaurants I think in Indianapolis. If you've been on our Instagram page, you'll have seen, photos of her food, and I'm here to tell you it's as amazing tasting as it looks. And she's here to talk a little bit about everything. A little Lizzo, a little work, a little Tony Stark. So we'll get to that by and by. My Weekend Geek has been very surprising this week. And it's made me think a lot about, I guess, my youth and being black and being a black nerd and not having, maybe the same support system as other nerds may have. Babylon 5. I know that somebody out there listening just blinked and was like, I beg your pardon. I'd heard of Babylon 5. I had never seen a single episode. Recently, my husband has been putting them on, I'll just call it our DVR because that's what it is. It's a homemade one. But basically, he's been recording Babylon 5 episodes, and I've been watching them here and there. He's been watching them in order. I have not. So, I'll go 2 or 3 days and not see one and then pop in on one. And at first, I said it was the poor man's Deep Space Nine. You don't have Papa Cisco, but you have a Bajoran-like race and you have a Cardassian-like race. And they hate each other and one is trying to overtake the population. We haven't gotten to the point where the Cardassian is sleeping with the Bajoran, but I'm pretty sure we'll get there. You have your security people, you have tangled, sticky romances. It reminds me a lot of DS9. It's interesting, and I wonder if this is something I would have watched when it originally came out. You see, I watched Star Trek as a kid, but only when somebody had it on, and usually somebody would have had it on for filler. But I knew who Data was, and I've loved him since I was a little kid. And as an adult, I have a Data mug, I have Data everything. He's my favorite. Somebody made a painting of Data for me because that's how much I love Data. It also kind of bums me out because as a kid, as a teenager, as a young adult, I missed out on all these geeky opportunities to see all these things. But in a way, it doesn't bum me out because it also gave my husband an opportunity to share these things with me. And he delights in that very much. For example, up until the time that we met, I'd never seen Star Wars, ever. And he's not a huge Star Wars fan, but he said I had to see it the way that he did, on VHS. So he got a VHS player from somewhere. He got the VHSs of Star Wars and we watched them. And I had to watch them in the order that they came out. So I've seen them all, even the ones with Jar Jar Binks. And please don't rag on Jar Jar Binks, because the man that played him has emotional issues to this day because of people ragging on him. So I won't say anything about him. I do remember, however, in my senior book in high school, I had a picture cut out of, I think his name is Hayden Christensen, the dude that played Anakin Skywalker. He played Anakin Skywalker as a young adult, and I just thought the guy was cute. I should go find that picture. It just makes me wonder what would have happened if I was fully able to flex my geek muscles at a young age. Would I be further along in my career than I am? Because I didn't have the computer opportunities that some people did. I know for a fact that there were a group of guys at the school that met and like did programming things, but there were never any girls around, and I didn't know how to infiltrate that. And I also didn't know anything about programming, so I didn't know if I would be taken as a fool. So there's that. Plus, people in my family also took it for granted that I liked video games. Anytime we got a gaming system, anytime like new games came out, they were always given to my little brother as gifts, when in fact I was better than him at most games. I've honestly never seen him beat a game, and Sonic the Hedgehog was my shit and one of the first games that I ever beat. So nah boo boo. In other gaming news, since I was talking about The Sims so much last week, I picked it up again and started playing, and basically branched off from the house that I was playing and moved in a character from that house into a new house and started their lives. I bought a house off, well, I didn't buy it, you know what I mean? I downloaded a house from the gallery, and first of all, I need to give a huge shout out to that designers, the house designers that play The Sims. You guys are incredible, because let me tell you something. I cannot build a house on The Sims to save my life. They always look wonky. They always look weird. What I've discovered, however, is that if you go for the lower price houses, you will find a bunch of houses that are half done or incomplete. I can work with those. So what I did was I bought a house and it said not finished or something like that. And basically it was a blank slate. They built the outside of the house and there were no walls on the inside. There was no furniture. There was absolutely nothing. There wasn't even a staircase, and it was a 2-story house. And so I have my character. She's got her little $20,000, and most of that went towards the house. And so I bought her a lamp, a desk, and a computer, and I made her a freelancer so she could earn some money really quickly. If she had to go to the bathroom, I'd send her across the street to the park. And if she had to eat, she has like the politeness factor, because she was a polite kid and she grew up and she got the politeness factor. So she greeted vendors very politely, and then she would haggle, and they almost always give her 25% off so she could get a burger from a stand until she started making money. And from there, since I started making money, I was able to slowly design the house out. Now, there is a picture on the Geeky Girls Night In Twitter that shows 2 of the rooms that I designed. I need to go ahead and upload and show you guys the rest of these rooms, because I'm really proud of them. I usually don't work on the design of the rooms that well. I'm not great at it. But, you know, I've been having a really good time with it. And Geeky Baby is super interested in the game and has been trying to help me, you know, decide what color to paint the rooms and what furniture to put in there. But her response to everything is she wants to paint the walls black and have black lamps hanging from the ceiling and black furniture. We're working on it. I think I'm gonna put out another house and let her go ham on it, and she can decide whatever she wants. And if she wants the entire house to be black, that is her prerogative. I ain't mad at her. But another thing, I also wanted to thank you guys, because I noted that if you wanted me to play with your character, go ahead and upload it to the gallery with the hashtag GGNI. Well, I got one person. I haven't gotten pretty much anybody else, and that still goes. If you want to be in the game, hashtag your character GGNI so that I can find it, and I'll put you in the game, and I may record some on Twitch if that were to happen. But I uploaded my characters to the gallery, and I've gotten so many downloads, and I don't know if it's because of the podcast or people just want black characters, black fat characters, and things like that. So it's been pretty exciting. I really appreciate it, and I'm gonna keep simming on. That's pretty much it for This Week in Geek. Stay tuned, be patient, be calm, take a deep breath, think happy thoughts, and when we come back, Oya from Chef Oya's The Trap will be here to grace us with her presence. All right, guys, welcome back to Geeky Girls Night In. I hope you had a lovely break. I would like to welcome Chef Oya from The Trap restaurant here in Indianapolis. Welcome, Oya. It's an absolute pleasure to have you.
It is a pleasure to be here, Leslie. Thanks so much for having me.
I'm so happy. Let's kick things off with what you drinking. Are you sipping on anything special?
Copious amounts of imported rum.
You fancy.
I am, sometimes, especially when it comes to drinks.
I understand it. So for my people that don't know or were looking at our Instagram feed confused about what's going on, can you tell us a little bit about The Trap and how it came to be?
Absolutely. Chef Oya's The Trap is a deliciously dope seafood restaurant. We are a walk-up, lunch-only establishment. I won't say lunch-only because we do a dinner service probably once every 6 weeks or so. The Trap got started on my front porch when I just decided that we did not have enough boil-style seafood establishments here in Indianapolis. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to offer something that was a little different than what people were getting. So I started selling crab legs on my porch in the summer of 2016.
I remember that. I remember like the thing that you used to boil everything in. It broke down, but your neighbor had a brand new one just sitting there.
It did. Well, my neighbor is a bit of a, I won't call him a hoarder, bless his heart. But he's one of those people that if he finds something somewhere and he feels like it's worthy of keeping, he keeps it. So he got a whole house full of those worthy items and a whole garage full of those worthy items and a whole basement full of those same things. So, he had one available, and I used it up until I was able to get the restaurant open.
That's so cool. We're in Indiana, and it's a completely landlocked state. Would you say that doing this whole seafood thing took you a bit out of your comfort zone as far as cooking goes?
Not at all. I was right in my pocket, to be honest. It was something that was very familiar to me as a seafood lover. Mm-hmm. And all I really needed to do was kind of make sure I had the correct vendors and suppliers, and had to make it mine and make it palatable to Indiana palates. I just changed a couple of things that are from a regular boil.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about your staff, because I absolutely adore them. I see you personally as a creative and an innovator, and the example of that is you tweaking the food to Indiana palates, for example. Most of your staff is as well. They're, I think almost all of them are in some creative art form or another. Can you share some examples of how you use this and how you push for your staff to maybe unleash their creativity at the Trap?
Yeah, I do. I specifically and intentionally, now and forevermore, and before then, will hire artists. I prefer people that are either artists or they have some other entrepreneurial endeavor that is outside of the Trap. Just simply because as an artist myself and as a person that is a very creative, I'm not a good employee for a very long time. I'll make a great employee for just a little bit, but so because of that, and because, and this is something that I tell my employees, like, when you come here, I love you. I support you in whatever your endeavors are, and I do plan on, making sure that I can continue to do so. But there is no retirement plan at the Trap. You are going to use your experience here at the Trap to, gain business ownership experience, because I take these people through all the little bitty. Can I cuss?
Go for it.
Okay. I take people through all the dumb shit that I have to go through in being a small business owner. And it is the most nerve-wracking thing that I've ever done in my entire life. But it's also the most rewarding. And so I want them to see all of the sides of it. I want them to see me, stressed out and banging my head on the cash register when we've had a particularly slow or crazy day. I want them to see me celebrating when we've had a great day. I want them to see me taking specific time off when I need time off to relax or to regroup. I want them to see me when I've been going for 2 weeks in a row and haven't had that time off. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I like for them to see and feel and to get a personal witness to what the grind is, so that they can then apply it to their own individual grinds in whatever, how, in whatever aspect that they're doing it in. I have currently 3 musicians. One of them is also a budding cook. The other one is very young, but I think she's going to be an amazing cook herself. She's not out of high school yet, so she's still trying to figure out what she's going to do. But she's very creative and very culinary minded. And then the two recording artists that I have are both musicians. One of them is a singer and songwriter. The other one is a rapper and MC. So, and he has a full band. So yeah, it's just, I try to keep them around, not only to keep me in the loop for, artistry and things of that nature in the city, but for them also to kind of get it, because it's mentorship. Like, they are really in a really great place. Because I'm able to mentor them in certain areas, and then also just kind of support them in what they do and buy tickets to their shows and help them with their recording studio time, or help them develop some type of other recipe that they needed, or just even showing them how to pull it out of themselves, have those certain creative moments that they might need, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's awesome. You don't get that at a 9-to-5. A lot of times you'll have managers, and I'm talking about in a 9-to-5 sense, where they say they want to mentor you and they say they want to, help your career out, but basically it's a do as I do, and there's no explaining why we're doing as you do. Oh, it's just always been this way. Well, can't there be a new way?
Right. And one thing that I tell them also is that if you come here and you start to work, and there are things that I have that need to be done the way I damn do them. They're the way that I do them for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And one of the things that people know and love best about the trap is the consistency. You know what I'm saying? Our potatoes are cut the same way all the time. The broccoli is the same size all the time. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? The sauce tastes the exact same. The seasoning tastes the same. Like, it's going to be consistent regardless. Every now and then we might fuck up. You know, we're a restaurant. Things happen. But I'm a really, really big stickler for consistency and, you know, for the quality of the food. But as far as processes and stuff are concerned, and as far as, you know, back of the house and paperwork stuff, or just any business process that might not come to me, because I don't know everything. I don't know nothing, as a matter of fact. And I tell them all the time, if you see something and you feel like it could be done better beyond what I've told you to do, if you feel like it could be done better, let me know. So I'm able to get really good ideas sometimes from my employees, and on things that I've never even thought of. You know, people think differently. So I tell them all the time, if you think it'll be better, if you can improve a process or improve the way we do things, please let me know, speak up, and I'll change it if it makes sense. Well, damn it, let's do it this way. I've done it several times. And just to go back on to that, like, I think a lot of 9-to-5s or a lot of jobs that we work, they're jobs. I mean, of course, we live in a capitalistic society, so we got to get the job done. Like, there's always a numbers game. There's always something that must be done. But what I really, as an employer, and this is why I don't feel like I need to be some big, I don't need to have 7 locations, because I don't want to employ that many people. Like, I don't have the capacity in my own heart to be responsible for that many people. So I'm going to always keep it small. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For the rest of my life, I prefer to just keep it as small as possible. You know what I mean? Because I actually love them. I actually give a damn about them and their growth and their mental health and their physical health and their families and all that stuff. I'm so invested in my people, like, not just financially invested, but I'm invested into their lives and into what they do. And that's my favorite thing about doing the work that I do.
That's awesome. That is so sweet. And it's comforting when you have, you know, somebody that, you know, is your manager or whatever, and then you can talk to them about, you know, stuff that's actually going on, and you don't have to worry about them, you know, firing you because your grandmother has cancer and, you know, your head's not really there. You know, I don't need to get written up for that.
Right, for sure. And I've definitely been through things like that, but I've also been through people taking advantage of it too. So it's a fine line.
Sure.
It's definitely a fine line, because once I see that I'm being taken advantage of because of that, I'm like, oh, you got me fucked up. You can go. Don't come back.
Goodbye.
This is what it is. It's an at-will state.
I understand.
We feel very, very oriented when it comes down to it. You know what I'm saying? But
right.
So I can't run it all hippies and, you know, daisies and shit. Like, there has to be some things that are, you know, strict and for sure and for certain. You know what I mean? But for the most part, I let people do what they're gonna do. Everybody goes through things and work.
Let's talk a little bit about the hashtag Trap Mother Moves. It seemed like it started out a little bit as a joke because you were going to and reviewing the seafood shops that showed up and were basically they were copycat seafood shops like yours. But then it kind of branched out a little bit and you started going to Black owned restaurants, and I love it because you've been to places that I've never even heard of in the city. So do you plan on expanding on that further and doing more with it?
I do. To be honest, I always have these wonderful ideas, and I don't, because I get so busy with the trap, I forget to keep going. But Trap Mobile Moves is definitely going to turn into something even beyond the internet. And this is probably the first public place that I've mentioned it. But I've actually started like writing an outline of a book where I go and review Black-owned places in different cities around the country or even the world, to be honest. So it's going to be a coffee table book. So it's going to be something that's very interactive and very informative, and reach different, just give people stories behind their food service establishments, and how they begin and how they, they do things and things things of that nature. But Trap Mobile Moves did start off as me just being silly, because I did notice after I opened that there literally has been probably about 17 or 18 other seafood boil style restaurants that have been open.
No joke.
That happened after I started.
Oh yeah. There's two by my job. I told you. Like, there's one in the strip mall, and then there's one on Allisonville Road, right next to 82nd, like in that white building that used to look like a church or something. They're building one there too.
Yeah, it's just insane. And I mean, I'd like to think that I, have been the one to bust the market open for seafood boil restaurants here in the city, because there literally wasn't one, and they have been growing all around the country. But for Indianapolis specifically, they have definitely come after me. So I call myself the mother of the seafood boil places here in the city. So that's where that came from. And then I actually only went to about 2 of those. I just didn't have it in me to keep going.
It's a lot.
Yeah. So then I started going to the Black-owned restaurants and establishments, and then I actually started reviewing other establishments too if I found myself somewhere else in the city. So it's going to be a little of a larger umbrella, but I'm always going to focus on Black-owned, woman-owned, queer-owned establishments wherever I travel to, and I love to travel. So,
speaking of queer-owned, happy Pride Month, by the way.
Thank you. I'm extra gay. Extra. It's also Juneteenth month, so I'm extra gay and extra Black. Beautiful. All the time.
Yes. Yes. So you're going to see Lizzo at Pride weekend next week, right?
I am going to go see Lizzo at Pride, and I want Lizzo to come and dance at the table. I want her to come twerk.
I want that so bad.
Oh my God. I want her to, and not just because, like, Lizzo
is everything.
Like, her movement, she is everything, and her movement right now is so very important, because I think representation, and one of the reasons why I'm so vocal and I try to be so authentic online in everything that I do is because I really think representation is important. And there have been not very many times, I can almost say there has not been another time, aside from Lizzo, that I've seen a fat Black woman at the helm of entertainment and in the forefront that has not stood by like the mammy trope. If there's a fat Black woman on TV or a fat Black woman somehow in the spotlight, she's rolling her eyes and sucking her teeth and, being just extra quote unquote, I don't even want to use that word, but it's a trope. It's a stereotype. It's a certain way that we have to be, you know what I'm saying, when we're in the limelight. And I think it's such bullshit, because Black women are not a monolith, and we are so different, and we are so varied, and we are so beautiful, and we have so many things going for us in so many different areas. Yes. You understand what I'm saying? And so to be a fat Black woman specifically, I love skinny people, whatever, but to be a fat Black woman specifically in this time frame and doing, what we do and living the lives that we live, we certainly deserve to be represented in a positive light, in a beautiful light, in a confident light, in a light that's not always necessarily always seeking out the male gaze for attention, or always seeking to be, overtly sexual for no reason. You know what I'm saying? We can be confident, we can love ourselves, we can be authentic without having to play up to the standards of other people. Like, we don't have to code switch. Like, that's one thing that I refuse to do anymore, is code switch. You gonna get this mouth or you not. Either I'm gonna be here or I'm not. You know what I mean?
I love it. I love it. Yes. Okay, so we got 2 more parts left. The first one being, do you have any shout outs that you want to give?
First and foremost, I gotta give a shout out to my mama and my baby, because without the one that I came from and without the one that came from me, I am nothing. Also, shout out to my ancestors, all of the ones that I came from and that came before me and that paved the way for me to do what I want to do, and that also communicate with me and still tell me how I'm supposed to act and how I'm supposed to move and when and all of that. So shout out to them. Shout out to my crew of the trap. Currently it's Jacob, Olivia, Selena, Austin, and Raylyn, and Matt. They all make sure that I can do what I do, and they're able to run it without me, and I'm so grateful for them. Shout out to Candace Boyd Wiley.
Yes!
She is my favorite. That is my BB. She is the one that is the mastermind behind the Young Bay signature seasoning. That is the seasoning that we use on all of our trays. And it is one of the things that makes us stand apart, because it is not filled with a bunch of bullshit. It's only filled with the delicious goodness that she blends up for us. We go through about 10 pounds a week.
Oh, wow.
The seasoning that she uses. We started off with a little 2-ounce cup, and now we are at 10 pounds a week and even growing further. And then shout out to everybody that eats at the trap and that shares our posts and that loves us and that understands, how we work, and that always supports us regardless. And I'm just so grateful.
I don't think you truly understand. So my 20-year class reunion is coming up, and I'm not going. I don't like them people, but I do like some people, and one of them is a woman named Maya. Hey Maya, I know you're listening, and I share your posts of your food on Facebook, and she's demanding that I take her there. Not asking, demanding. So
bring your ass and bring her too. Bring Maya. Come on, Maya.
We coming. We keep trying to get her up here. She said she's coming for the 20th reunion, but I'm like, girl.
Where'd she live at?
Oh God, Arizona.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
I have people that literally come in town just to eat my food. So that's not out of the.
Well, there's somebody that comes from out of town to buy multiple bottles of trap butter.
Oh yeah, that's Todd. He was just here this week. He's from Anderson, by the way. He's from Anderson, and my mother's family is from Anderson too. So we kind of have a little connection. He's real cool. Love him dearly. He comes probably about once a month. Scrap with bottles and a couple of trays.
That is so awesome. All right, so this is kind of a speed round of questions, and you just answer them, the way you feel. So, or facts or whatever. So, what's the last movie that you saw?
Avengers Endgame.
Okay. What superhero would you want to come and get a tray from the trap, and what tray would you suggest to them?
I would tell Tony Stark, Iron Man, to come back from the dead and get a loaded crab legs and shrimp tray from the trap, and we will sit there and we will eat together, and we will talk about, I don't know, he'll probably just talk.
Yeah, he likes to talk.
Him talk about the mechanics of him getting his crab out of the leg.
That would be amazing. He'd come up with some weird invention, so he wouldn't have to touch it. He's a weirdo.
He'd probably just laser the opener or some shit like that.
This is actually from Quinzel, because I told her that you were going to be on, and she wants to know when can she get her her trap tray mailed to her. Because she lives in a different state too.
Baby, when I think of that, there's probably about 3 or 4 more people that always mention me mailing transportation. I don't know. I might be able to maybe vacuum lock it or something, but I don't know about vacuum lock that. That's just one. But yeah, you're just gonna have to get here. I can't mail with Trey. I'm sorry. I can mail you some trap butter. You can go on to www.trapbutter.com and you can order the trap butter, and I can send you a sample pack of seasoning so you can make your own at home. And you can try to do it like I do. It ain't gonna be the same, but you can come up with a reasonable facsimile.
Maybe I should get her that as a gift. I think she'd like that.
You should, Leslie. You should have been doing that, to be honest.
I should have. I'm a horrible person. I need to do that for her and Maya. I need to work on that.
That's a note.
And my final question, and please don't murder me, is when can I get some cookies?
No. I knew that. You know what's funny about that? I need those cookies. I was... there's a meme on the internet that says Black people don't measure stuff. We just wait until we hear the spirit of our ancestors say, "Enough, my child."
Exactly. Yeah.
And when I went into my kitchen to bake some cookies one day, I did not have a recipe. And I just kind of went in the kitchen and I just thought about what could happen. And I did the first batch and I was like, well, I'll be damned. Good as fuck. Let me see if I can tweak some things and come up with different flavors. And then I started selling them to the public and they were wildly popular. Like, it's literally how I sold cookies. That is literally how I was able to come up with the money to buy all the equipment, to pay the first 6 months rent of the trap when I wasn't even open, is how I was able to pay my bills at home when I was trying to get the trap open. You know what I'm saying? It was literally, selling those cookies was literally, but I never wrote the recipe down. And, I had it committed to memory. I had the formula, the ratios committed, because it's not really a recipe. It's more like a ratio of what ingredient to what ingredient. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So I had them committed to memory. And when I was using it every day, it was there. But then I stopped baking and I don't use them every day. So I would literally have to go back into the lab, and it would probably take me 1 or 2 tries to come up with the same ratio again, but I don't remember it. Like, I really tried to do so. Probably one day last year, and I didn't even make no post. I didn't even tell nobody it came out so horribly. So I would just have to figure it out. But I don't know when we're going to get a cookie list anytime soon, Liz. Thank you for asking.
Not a problem. That's what I'm here for. The people needed to know.
They do.
So thank you once again so much for being on. Happy Pride. Enjoy your
Happy
rum.
Juneteenth.
Yes, happy Juneteenth.
Absolutely, really enjoying my rum.
Yes, and I will talk to you soon.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure, Leslie. Anytime.
Thank you. All right.
Geeky Girls Night In is brought to you by me, Leslie. You can find me on Twitter at Geeky Girls NI, on Facebook at Geeky Girls Night In, or in your backyard, strumming dulcet tones on a mandolin, serenading you sweetly. Feel free to shoot me a message if you have something geeky going on that you want announced on the show. You can find written musings by me, Quinzel, or Melissa at geekygirlguide.com. Like the show? Would you like to buy me a cup of coffee? Consider donating to my coffee. That's ko-fi.com/geekygirlsni. Want to send me or the other girls some snail mail? You can reach us at P.O. Box 90232, Indianapolis, Indiana 46290. Feel free to leave a review on iTunes or on the Facebook page. I'll read new reviews, good or bad, on the show. Music is by Makai Beats. Until next time.